Hey folks, Kevin here. Well, it's October 14th, 2020, and something that I've been working on for a couple of weeks now, not in the last few days, but I finished up the part of the project of working right down in here, and this is part of Pond 7. Now, just off to the side here of Pond 7 is the original area, and I actually left the sediment ring all the way around here, which was the original basin of Pond 7. Pond 7's about, over in this area, it's about 7 foot deep from the point where the water egresses out the spillway going to a swale system. And what I decided to do, since we had such a terrible drought this year, besides doing the sealing that I had done in Pond 5 with the sediment there, I decided, since we have Hound now, who can really move a lot of earth very quickly. The Hound is a tracked skid steer with wide tracks. I decided to start working on this pond. Now, this pond isn't completed yet. I foresee myself, the next time we have a drought, working back there, and you can see there's a slope up in the background back there. There'll be an area back there that I will continue to excavate out, and I'll work my way around this side as well a little ways. This will be a peninsula where this Scott pine is. So this is the pond here. I thought I'd throw the helmet cam on, walk around a bit, and show you what things actually look like. There is some GoPro drone footage that really isn't that great, mainly because at this time of year in the fall, that's the south side of the pond, and it's already in pretty significant shade, and it's hard to see so well. But I will throw some footage up of when I was looking, did some drone footage a month or a month and a half ago of the ponds around here. You'll be able to see what the pond looked like, and this was all trees all in this area that I excavated out. And that went into a hugelkultur road around the side. I'll show you that area as well. So here we go. Okay, this may be a little bit difficult to recognize at this point, but this whole area here is the area where the hugelkultur mounds were, and that earlier this summer I came in and I dissected them, took them apart, and one of the things was how quickly do the trees and all break down. So this was the area where the big hugelkultur mound was, and then I had two areas here that I filled in that gradually sunk down over time, that I grew food in these hugelkultur systems. There's another hugelkultur bed right over here about where the puddle is, and another one over there as well where the tarps are. So and this is just a temporary road for me to go back and take all the fill that I took out of the excavation area here. Well, let's walk down here. So there was a swale that I cut in right where the grasses and blueberries and the white birch are here. So there was a swale that came down to about this level here, and then all of this was all trees and all. So I took that material out and helped to make the hugelkultur roadway, which will be a living fence, and I'll show you that in a couple of minutes. And then gradually I dug my way down. Now, Hound was able to dig down, because it's pretty sandy, this top area here, dig down quite a bit to about the level where my feet are right now. And then the ground got very, very hard, really hard compacted gravel down here. And I'd use Bumblebee to come in, to break up the earth, put it behind me or put it to the side of me, and use Hound to take it and bring it over. And I had to do that multiple times down in here. And then gradually I just worked my way down around and was able to get down in here. The good thing about Hound is Hound can take some scoops of earth, spin around on his axis, and just work his way right up out the like the Olympic swimming pool, where it's shallower end up there. That area there will probably be excavated again next time we have a drought, and I'll be cutting into that area as well to make this more of a large reservoir area. I didn't want to disturb, so this is the base of the pond. There's actually about 6 or 8 inches of water in there. You can see some of the small fish still moving around between the green. The bullhead will get themselves down in there. They can go up to 2 weeks, even with there being no water there. Tomorrow we should get some rain, so that should be good. And I'll just leave this undisturbed so that as the rain comes in and the area starts filling up, it'll gradually work its way back here. This area is a little bit lower than this area. This is about 8 feet deep down in here. This is about 6.5 to 7 foot deep in this area, or maybe 6.5 to 7.5, and maybe this is 8.5 feet deep right here. There's the pine up there. I still have to do some more pruning around that. And so that's this area, and there's a roadway that goes up here, and I worked on another roadway up there as well. So right up in here, we have all kinds of boulders in this ground. It's not very nice gravel, but right about in here, as I was working my way down, I had a little bit of a bump, and that was a little bit of a bump. I started digging it out one day, and I realized it was quite big. I was using Bumblebee, and I said, oh, the heck with it, because I spent like 20 minutes with it, and I knew it'd be a couple hours getting this one out with such a small excavator. So I just left it here until I had a chance to dig it out. But when I was down here working, I had a great big pile down here. I came down here with Hound, drove right into the big pile, and then I blew a big hydraulic line, and it started raining right about then. That's where the water came from. And I gave a call to my buddy John. He brought his big excavator over and was able to drag me up out of here. And I asked him while I was here, do you think you could go ahead and grab a hold of that little rock? And of course that was like easy work for the big excavator. Just grabbed it right out of the ground and set it out of there. Then I filled in the hole here afterwards. Then I talked to John, and he dragged it up. We brought it up behind the workshop area, Hound, and then John has a whole lifetime of working with heavy equipment, excavators, bulldozers, payloaders, dump trucks. He's a very handy man who has lots of experience. Unfortunately, I don't think he's had much experience with skid steers, and I have no experience with skid steers breaking down. It was very likely that it was a hose that was blown, and that's indeed what it was. But just trying to open the skid steer up, we had to pull some pins to raise the boom up, so we get the arms of the skid steer up, and then be able to tilt the cab forward, take the back hood off, and then with his help, I was able to replace the hose, clean out all the muck that was down inside of it from all the debris that builds up in these small compartments that route all the hoses and the hydraulic pump and all of the electronics down there. And so without John, I don't think I would have gotten that fixed nearly as quickly. And with his help and expertise, if you ever watch this, John, thank you so much. You're a lifesaver. So that worked out. And then he came back the next day after I got the hose set and helped me use the big excavator to lift up the big arms of the skid steer so I could safely, lock it up there. And then he came back the next day to help lower it down as well. So that was really wonderful of John to do that. So what I'll do now is I'll jump on Pepe here, and we'll take a ride over to the area where where I put all the fill that came from this massive hole. there's a whole bunch of trees that came out of that area, right in this area here. And this is the area where I dug down and planted. There's hugelkultur pits all along in here. And the pits go about right up to where this black cherry tree is here. Then I went ahead and just covered up the stone wall. And you can see it drops off several feet on each side, on that side, because the property slopes in this direction. Try to save as many trees as I could. But I kept going back and forth, bringing earth over in here, and all different boulders and materials all along in here, covering those up. And then we get over into this area. That's actually where I dug an oak tree out earlier today. So I've been going around the property, and those trees that are too tight together that look good, I'm transplanting them in other places. So there was an oak tree down in here and an oak tree over in there. Both of those I've moved up along the living fence. But this area here, back when I posted the video on creating the access roads and working on the beaver pond, there was a large stone pile that was about to where that limb was cut off here, and it went all the way down into that area, pieces of concrete and all up in here. And I took that whole stone pile out gradually over weeks and used it to help construct the access road along the beaver pond. But that made this down 3 feet deeper, and so that extra fill, all this gravel that came out of the pond excavation, came in and filled in this area as well. So if I do go back to working on that pond next year, the year after, I'll bring up more fill in here. I'll widen the road in between all the trees around there, and we'll start planting more living fence all along this stone wall. And I have quite a bit further to go down there, but I just ran out of fill. And again, I want to save as many trees as possible. It is a challenge. Now these are right at the crown of the trees right here. That one, it's up the trunk a little bit on that tree there. But it does potentially damage the trees if the soil is up on, completely encompasses well above the crown of where the roots attach to the trunk of the tree. So we don't want to do that any more than is absolutely necessary, but I didn't want to damage these trees, but I wanted to get this access road down in here so I can get some more plantings in here as well. And to create these islands where I'll be propagating more trees and various sub-canopy bushes, all in these small patches in between each of the access roads. And I didn't need to put much fill in here. Actually, I didn't put any fill up in this area. These are the blueberry and grasses that I planted along the edge here. Well, so this is one of the projects I've been working on recently. It's been beautiful working in the fall. I love seeing the sunshine come through all the beautiful colors on all the trees, and the leaves are dropping pretty rapidly. In the forest, we've got a complete covering of the forest floor with all the leaves at this point. And I've been running around trying to get transplants done, getting jobs done around here. It's a little bit crazy. But I wanted to share with you one of the projects I've been working on. It probably took me about 2 weeks to do this with both pieces of equipment. And again, thank God John gave me a hand here, was able to pull me out of a precarious situation down there. I was able to get all that hydraulic leak fluid out and get it moved out of the area as well. So what I think I'll do is I may throw on some of the drone footage. It's not great of the pond area, and maybe a little bit of the footage of me coming around, and you could see the Hound moving some of the soil and bringing it down that driveway, and also some of the work with Bumblebee working down there in the pit where the pond is going to be as well. So if you found this video of value, please give us a thumbs up, share it with your friends. Not sure if you like this sort of video, but I thought I'd share it with you since it took a lot of my time here, and water conservation, developing aquatic ecosystems is really important to me as well. Thanks so much for watching, folks, and have a great day. Bye-bye now.